Hello and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. This is a little sort of indie walking simulator game thing that you can pick up on Steam. It's from the creator of the Stanley Parable, and basically it's like lots of different games within the game or something like that. It's really weird. It explains it all the way through. It's got a narrative, so I'll begin. But yeah, I saw this on Steam. You can pick it up for a couple of quid. It was in the sale, £4 something. But once the winter sale's gone, it goes to about £7. But it's still cheap for a pretty cool game.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
It is
and
pretty
of course,
weird.
It destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
I love the whole
narrative. It kind of makes
narrative.
you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this?
It's making me.
This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008. Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
So there's probably not going to be a lot of talking from me because there's a narrative. So I will only probably talk when I can, like now. But, oh god, that was scary. Whisper machine. Evacuate.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Go the way with the light. Can't go that way. Okay.
You can click to fire the gun.
Oh, there's no gun sound though. What? There's no gun sound. I'm hoping some of these doors open.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Okay, it just randomly opens but you can't go anywhere. Cool.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Why is there so many stars like clustered down there? Excuse me. Oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, that's just a poster of the thing. Wow. Where do we go? Oh my.
Apparently,
right
this
wall.
space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
The whisper machine. Oh, what's in here?
Hey, you there, in the
Hello?
engine room. You could save us all.
Where can you
That
see
beam
me?
is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you
Yeah, let's
give
go for it.
yourself?
Yeah, let's do it, whatever. Couldn't. No, I'm scared, I don't want to anymore. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay, instant
Let me
death.
pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh, I get to do it again. Alright, here we go. Ah! This is... Alright. Not what I
The
intended.
beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment
I was
for it.
going the right way on the
Because
myth.
yes,
Just
this is
following that.
technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
This
Or
is
this
crazy.
floating
That's my
could
bullet
be the
holes. I
afterlife,
can see my
a
bullet
peaceful
holes in the
place,
wall of
juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
That was really trippy. It felt like either I was moving or the world was moving, but more so the world. The past was behind her.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, what? This is weird. I don't like it. What if this is like a jump scare? Especially with the weird music. Ah,
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique
this?
voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
but the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need
weird.
anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay, let's bring on the next one. Oh, it's like Slender. I don't like it. Oh. You are now entering. Okay. I don't like it. No, I'm scared. There's gonna be a jump scare, isn't
And that's it. Okay,
Oh,
the meaning of this game
okay.
won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he
Good.
stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Oh my goodness. Why? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
I'm pressing enter. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, wow. Oh, wow. Plays the camera filming an advertisement walking around a set. Press U to surrender.
A room
The
that's
shark is
warm
trying to eat you simultaneously. You are
nice
trying to eat the shark.
and filled with little ideas
Oh,
for
please someone
games.
make that again. Stand on X staring into bed for 3 hours.
Coda would often tell me that he
This game
didn't
is nothing
mind
but
if
giant
people
blocks of
thought of
text
him as
explain what's
cold
happening.
or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person,
Game
but that it
script
takes
to my
time to
15
really
seconds
see
keep
that.
playing.
It can be a very slow climb to get there.
A key in one game unlocks a door in a completely separate game. I like that idea. If it was the same series, it would work, but yes. That would be great. Ooh, this is a bit ominous. Oh, what does this kind of remind me of? This is sort of like Portal-ish layout. Oh, then again, Portal was on the Source engine, wasn't it? And this is all Source. Here
Well,
we
this
go.
is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Well, that'll just open that door
Don't
again.
forget that solution, because we're going to see
Okay.
this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it
What
a
are these here
lot.
for? Okay, I get it. So you open the door, close it with the same lever, and then you have another one on the back. For that, okay. And then we just get to an empty room.
So that seems
Cool.
to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Right. Enter. Holy mo! What? I want to go in them places. They look cool.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
I want to go
Either
in it.
way, I think that the point is the same. Is that most of the time
I
you
want
don't
to go
get to
to
know what you're missing, or even
No,
that
come
you're
back.
missing anything. That's not your
Let me-
role as a player.
Let me go.
So if your role
Let me
here
go.
is not to understand, then what is it?
What is our role here? Oh, okay. January 2009. Oh, we're back in this one again. This is going to explain. You are now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined
Right.
with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a
Okay.
bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Why is he trying to work out this guy's life? Maybe this guy's just trying to make games for fun, and this guy's just like being like, nah. I don't understand. Alright, cool, great and lovely. Just, oh wow. No, I like this. Looks like a nice pub. I like a pub.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Alright then.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Sauce.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
This is a sauce. This one's running on sauce.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Told you.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making.
I wanted to walk
You
down
might
all the
consider
blocks.
paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very
That's
good
class.
at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Yeah, it is all. I can see it is all just linear and stuff like that. I don't like that noise. Where are we going? Where are we going to? Can I get off? No. Oh, I don't want to go in there. Okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you
Alright.
don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Please. I'd rather.
This is something that
I'd
he and I
rather be
used to
sat
argue
there for an
about a
hour.
lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't understand. Why is the glass in the middle of these staircases? What's going to happen if I fall down the middle? This is like a trench thing. This is weird. Oh, look, there's one of
It's
these
the
doors.
puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Give me the handle. There we go.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Man. I don't really... I feel like this guy's just making games for the crack and you're just thinking he's crazy. Or he could be crazy, because people who make games like this is a bit crazy, to be honest. But, okay, yeah, definitely crazy. I'm done. No. Oh, God. What is this?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
I spent hours in a prison. Yeah, I've been to the world above. We have just met. Oh, okay. You want to see yourself? Okay. Did your head just spin round? Yeah, bye. Wait, what? I don't want to go back here again. I don't understand. Do you know how to solve it? Yeah. Yeah. You're right, Mr. People. You'll see it again soon. Oh, they're gonna give me the door. I wish you'd stop turning your heads. You're really weird. This is really weird. I don't. What is happening? Like, what is actually happening? Can it end?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Oh, okay. Well, you've ruined it. I wanted to know this. I wanted to not get to the bottom floor myself. Oh look, it's the lamppost from the start of the game.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
I love it.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long.
Yeah, that's what I
now
was
he
thinking.
wants something to hold on to. He
He's
wants
just
a
been making
reference
games for the crack.
point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
You don't know that.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I still think he's just making games because he wants to. No, the light.